Hello, Calaveras County. Welcome to Tammy's Window on Calaveras. As you can see, I'm not Tammy. I'm Mike Taylor, stepping in for Tammy Beilstein, who will be with you next time. Today we've got something for you that, well, you need to pay attention in the summertime and not just in the wintertime. My guest today is Rosie Sundell with Bear Valley Resort. Welcome, Rosie.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
Nice to have you. Now, there's an enormous herd of information we've got to get through, it seems like. So much has happened on that mountain in the past couple of years.
Yes.
There was all that tumult where we weren't sure what was happening, and now we have a new owner and everything. So kind of catch us up, and then we'll talk about what's going on in the summer.
So 2005, I think, is when the main change for Bear Valley began, when the new partnership came in. Mm-hmm. One key thing that they accomplished that they wanted to finish was to get the entitlements, which allows anybody who comes in to now redevelop Bear Valley. Mm-hmm. There's been a master plan in place for many years, but it wasn't approved. So in 2012, that approval took place. The partners decided, let's see who might want to take this to the next level. Last year, Skyline came in, and they are a resort development company. They are a real estate investment company, and they looked at Bear Valley and thought that this might be a great place for them, you know, in their portfolio. Mm-hmm. So they came in August, and very recently, it's been, in fact, it'll be 6 months this Friday, that they officially own Bear Valley. They only own the ski resort. Okay. They lease and manage the hotel, but they have an option. Contractually, they're taking care of the hotel and with an option to buy it within 18 months. So right now, our management team actively manages the ski area and the village. And the village is where we're busy right now getting ready for summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what are some, well, actually, let's back up and let's talk about this winter, because I know this was their first winter here, Skylines, and it wasn't a great winter as far as snowfall goes. Obviously, we're talking about the drought and everything this year, but I heard from lots of people who said the skiing was still terrific at Bear Valley. So what was the secret to that?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I think that is really something that we need to educate people about. Bear Valley has a snowmaking system that was put in with the prior ownership, even before the Bear Valley partners, the Bottomleys, actually put that in. Okay. Snowmaking is the secret, but there is a secret to snowmaking. And one thing that Benno, our new GM, came in, did that we had never done before is we made snow every chance we could, meaning the temperature was right, you know, put people in place. In the past, we would make snow, and when Mother Nature helped us, we'd stop and let the snow fall. Instead, we made snow right beside Mother Nature. As the snowfall is coming down naturally, our machines were running, our guys were out there. Talk about a crew, an amazing crew. And then, you know, there's such a big science to it. You could do a whole program just on this, of the grooming, the timing of the grooming, the outdoor management crew at Bear Valley, and I continue to learn from them. But between the snowmaking and that management of the snow, we were able to sustain our snow. Of course, the other nice big thing about Bear Valley, we're at 7,500 feet when you pull into the parking lot. So many ski resorts, you actually come in at 62 or 6,500, which made, when people pulled in, they see nothing but dirt. Sure. For us, we had 124 days this year. We average about 118. So this year we had more days open.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So it wasn't, well, maybe that's the question. Was it that bad a year for skiing?
Well, not for skiing. And in fact, we were just out at Ironstone not too long ago talking to a lot of people about the skiing. And the reality is, the majority of skiers are people that love to come out, ski those groomed runs on a nice, beautiful day. It's the best year for that. It has been the best year for that. Sure. If what you want is that 2 feet of powder and to be in there, it's not the best year for those days, although we had some. So I think the media sometimes can create, you know, no snow means bad snow. And I think Bear Valley, Squaw Valley, and North Star, and many of these other resorts, we all get out trying to share the information about snowmaking because the conditions are amazing. And so when you couple that with Mother Nature coming in every now and then, It was a great season for skiers that came. The problem is not everybody shows up because they think, oh, there's no snow.
It's a bad year.
So you guys can really help us get that word out that snowmaking, it's not fake snow, it's snow.
Yeah,
it's just we're giving Mother Nature a little hand up there to make it happen.
I even heard from a couple of skiers that and you know, whether this is a new myth for Bear Valley, but that they were actually stashing some snow under the shade of the trees and then shoveling it back out into the runs and grooming them. So
it's amazing, you know, and again, talking about our snow management team, all the outside operations crew, over the last 4 years, they have continued to improve their science of maintaining snow. And they love what they do. They're passionate about skiing or snowboarding, so they're the perfect people to have out there keeping the conditions the way they would want them. And, so yeah, they stash snow. They would move snow from different locations. If you come up there after 7 p.m. until about 2 in the morning, it's a whole nother world.
They're out there working, huh? I'll be darned.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
24-hour operation.
It is. That's when the place gets cleaned. That's when the snow gets set up. It's pretty neat.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking before we started taping that kind of watching over the past several years, but it seems like really in, I want to say about the past 5 or so, maybe a little bit more, that the Bear Valley area has become a year-round destination, not just the snow skiing.
Yeah.
And so what are some of the plans with Skyline for what's going to happen in the summer up at Bear Valley?
Yeah, we're super excited. I think one really unique thing about Bear Valley, and it's not just Bear Valley, but it's the entire Highway 4 corridor, there's this passion for this area, and the organization, the Bear Valley Co-op, developed, and it's made up of people not only in Bear Valley, but people along the corridor, people that own second homes in the area. That is a huge component to what we're starting to do now, because they invested not only, you know, with their hearts, but with their wallets. And and so they work with Skyline on plans for the future that allows us to make plans and capital things that we want to do. We're evaluating those plans now because obviously after a not so great winter, you want to make sure you're making the right decisions for the long term. So, but yes, we have lots of plans for the summer. We work very closely with all the organizations in Bear Valley and along the corridor to come up with ideas. Right now, in fact, tonight, we're installing a new bungee jump apparatus and a ropes course.
Oh, wow.
There's new bicycle trails going in. There's horseback riding up at the mountain. The sports that we have had and continue to have is the kayaking, stand-up paddleboard, rock climbing. The granite rock up there is just such a great backdrop.
Yes.
And then, of course, the music festival, which goes on for 2 weeks. And this event has been on for more than 30 years. It is the end of July and the first week of August. Brand new executive director, great guy. I'm super excited about what he's bringing to the music festival. But
oh, great.
I would say, you know, and this is one thing our general manager really brought when he came, is the collaboration between all these organizations. Many people think of Bear Valley as Bear Valley Resort, and that's everything.
An entity, yes. And
the reality is we are one company, but there are several other companies in there that we work together to make the activities happen. And the music festival is a big part of our summer, as is our summer camps. Summer day camp, we're really excited. We have a new executive director up there, Leanne Millar, who has been, you know, in this area for a long time. Her kids grew up in Calaveras County, great athletes, super organized, and bringing some great things to the summer day camp. They launched this week. Our overnight camps start next week, which is archery camp, and that's for kids 9 to 17.
Okay.
They come spend the night, they train with an Olympic trainer, and walk away with a true certification of archery.
Wow.
Following week, soccer comes. Santa Clara University comes and coaches that camp. So it's high-intensity training, but then we mix it in with this fun mountain activity. All the kids get to kayak and rock climb and other activities like that.
Neat.
And then our last camp in August, which has just grown like crazy, is lacrosse. It's one of the fastest growing sports in America.
I know it's gotten a lot more popular, especially at the collegiate level.
Yes. We have well over 100 kids that come to town.
Wow.
Yeah, for 3.5 days. Train serious training. NorCal Palo Alto is the one that puts it on. And they're our partners, so we take care of their lodging and their meals.
Okay.
But it's their camp. And there's lots of cross-country teams and college teams that'll bring their teams up to train at high altitude in nice weather. You know, college teams that are in the Central Valley or north, where in August it is 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And so they'll come up to Bear Valley, do a little getaway with their teams, have a little team bonding, train up. We have this unbelievable soccer field. It would blow your mind if you haven't been up there.
I haven't seen the soccer field, and I've driven around and looked for stuff up
No,
there.
it's amazing. So you're coming up Highway 4, and when you pass the entrance to the village, just to the right, you'll see the tennis courts. If you turn in right there, behind this tennis courts, of course, all the beautiful trees in Bear Valley.
Sure, that whole space
and then
is...
the opening, and there's this beautiful grass field, about the size of almost 2 soccer fields.
Oh, man.
That's where archery, lacrosse, and then Monday night soccer. They have a pickup game every Monday night. So if you're a soccer player...
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, I mean, the temperature you can't beat. You
That's
get
right.
out of here and you head up there. You know, a hot day for us might be 81 degrees, you know. So I left there today before coming down here, and it was about 73. So
Wow.
what are we here?
So yeah, I forgot to look at the
90
magic
something,
thermometer at the
yeah.
bank, but yeah, I know we're supposed to hit the century mark anytime soon.
Yeah.
But you're right, getting up there, and that's one of the things that for me I appreciate most. Coming up to the Bear Valley Music Festival is you get up there and it's immediately cooler when you get out of the car.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it, what I appreciate most about summer around here is the sun goes down and the temperature drops.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It doesn't always do that down here in the lowlands.
Yeah.
We're here in San Andreas at the studio, but I know that in that mountain environment, boy, that sun goes down and you almost need to make sure you've got a jacket with
Yeah.
you, even in the dead
Absolutely.
of August. So
The campers know that. Lake Alpine's super popular camping
Yep.
area. And one new thing we're doing this year is we're running a bus shuttle from Lake Alpine back to Bear Valley and back and forth, and we'll go round and round.
Oh, cool.
So if you're camping at Lake Alpine and you want to come in for dinner, a little music, or the bungee jump, or whatever else we might have going on, we'll bring you in. And if you're in Bear Valley and you want to take your kids out to the lake, you'll have a ride. So
That's really cool.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. With our bus, we also decided to run shuttles down to Ironstone. So
I see.
yeah, we were out at the recent Doobie Brothers concert. We'll be out for Boston. Really excited with what Ironstone's doing and their new concert
Yeah, it's
series.
a pretty good series, and,
Yeah.
and boy, the stage really, what I noticed most with the stage, and I know we're off the Bear Valley subject for a second, but was the sound is so much better because they got the
Amazing.
speakers up in the air, and boy, the place just sounds great.
Yes. And the graphics with the,
Yeah.
it's
really
they
something.
invested, with their partner in Richter Entertainment. It's amazing what they've done, and to have that venue here in this area, and
Officially in the backyard.
well,
you know,
absolutely,
it's just great.
And we have always talked about the entire corridor when we promote Bear Valley because it's all part of it. And I think, I live in Arnold, as you know. It's 30 minutes, and it's the 30 minutes of the most beautiful drive I could ever have. No
Yep.
traffic lights.
Definitely.
Watch out for a few deers, but
That's right. Watch out for Bambi. And
other than that, it's
now,
amazing.
You mentioned going to Bear Valley and music and eating and that kind of thing. And I've heard also that that's where some of the investment has shown up
Yes.
maybe the quickest up there, at least where visitors are noticing.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about kind of what's happened in the village as all of this transformation is
The food.
coming about.
Chef Bob, who's our chef up there, along with Jennifer Wren, who's been known in this area for a long time. Between the two of them, Bob in the kitchen, Jen out there, she's super creative, coming up with great ideas. But Bob, with his menus, he really has taken the level of food in all our restaurants in the village up a huge notch.
Oh, great.
He was a culinary instructor for many years. We have fresh breads coming out, even homemade crackers. There's
my
nothing out of a
gosh.
box there. Everything,
man.
it is amazing, and it's beautiful. We redid the Creekside restaurant.
Okay.
It's beautiful. It's got a fireplace in there. We work with Murphy's Design Center, Lisa and Aaron. They're amazing. The floor and the bar. It's just
Great.
It is the perfect mountain setting where you come in there, you can sit inside for dinner, you can sit outside by the fireplace, and relax with a glass of wine.
Oh, great.
Creek flows by. And actually right now we're redoing the outer deck, and we have some of our team from the mountain working on that. I get excited. I mean, I just love spending time there. It's just a perfect place for people that want to get out and sit down and relax. And so the food has been huge, and we've gotten a lot of great reviews from the people that have experienced the new menus and the new presentation. We feel very fortunate to have these two guys working.
You mentioned the Creekside dining room. I want to make sure I get the.
Yeah.
And then what are the other entities that are operated by the resort up there?
So we also operate Sky High, which historically was pizza, but Chef Bob has expanded that menu to sandwiches with fresh portobello, just fresh bread, just all kinds of beautiful things, pastas. They do burgers over there as well. We have a great team in the kitchen. Jeff and Shane have been there, and they're just putting out some beautiful food. And then a new restaurant that opened up in the Village is called Smoke and Barrel, and they do great tri-tip and fantastic coffee in the morning. She opened up, I want to say in January. And I'm sorry, December. And she's doing a great job. A local gentleman and her invested in this place, and so those are the three main places. There's also the general store that'll make a sandwich for you, but there's always dinner 7 days a week in Bear Valley. There's always breakfast, and there's always lunch. So,
all right. So it's not, because I can remember a couple of times being up there and the morning being a little bit scant for offerings. And to be honest, I've found that the case sometimes when I'm up in the Tahoe area too. You get to that magic hour and everybody's closed.
Yeah.
So
well, it is true that May and October historically in mountain towns gets pretty quiet. Everybody goes on vacation. But we're committed. We want to make sure people come up and see that there's food here. Sherry's doing a great job with her breakfast and her fantastic coffees. So, you need to come on up. Bring your bike. You'll have a great time.
That's right, the bike. You mentioned new trails in that going in. Are they going in the village proper or more up by the mountain? Or?
Well, there are some existing trails which are amazing. In fact, we have a brand new video that'll be on our website in the next couple of days. But what's new is some trails that are a little easier for beginners right inside the village. So Paul Peterson, we talked a little bit about him and his company. They rent bikes as well as kayaks and stand-up paddleboards. But his team is focused on putting some trails right in town so that, if your child wants to go off, you don't have to worry. They're going to go into a trail. It's going to be a nice, long, fun trail, but it's going to loop them right out where you're sitting down having lunch outside of Sky High.
Oh, perfect.
So we're just really trying to create this environment where families can come, have a great time, not worry about their kids. I think that's what Bear Valley's always been about, is, So the bike trails, the new ones at least, are right there in town. And then that shuttle that I mentioned will have a trailer on the back of it. So if you bring your own bike, we can put it on the shuttle and take you up.
And get you up there.
Yeah,
oh, great.
Up to the little tougher trails.
So then you probably could ride the bike around Lake Alpine.
Oh, absolutely.
Or, because that's the thing up there. And I'm one of those people. Alpine County being our sort of backyard and it's a backyard we've got to be proud of here in Calaveras County. And if you haven't been up there, folks, go to Bear Valley on a Saturday morning. Head up there late, middle morning. Plan to have lunch, obviously. But get up there and take a look. You can walk all the way around Lake Alpine. It is a beautiful place.
It is.
The bugs are only bad as the sun is setting.
And actually the snow melts, so we're almost past that.
There you go.
It's pretty a light bug season. And one thing I will say, if you spend the nights in Alpine County are amazing. I mean, in August, the star showers that you get are just, there's nothing like it. You go sit out on the field and watch the stars, or go up to the Bear Valley, because we're in the middle of the National Forest, and it is dark and it is beautiful. So.
And it's silent.
Yes.
It's almost eerily so, but it's really cool.
It is.
When you just start hearing the noises Mother Nature makes.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
It's a special place for sure.
It is. Now, talking about summertime, and not so much the music festival, but I know at some of the Bear Valley, at the lodge, there's been music relatively regularly. Is that being expanded this summer too?
It is. We made a big commitment to music this winter, and we had music every Saturday, either or at the ski area as well as in the village. So we had some really fun bands on the sun deck outside the ski area, and really talented musicians, ones that have been on Jimmy Kimmel, have their own albums. It was really fun. We worked real closely with the Bay Area Singer-Songwriters Association.
Oh, cool.
And it was great. I got connected into this organization, so they were part of our music series as well as some of these unbelievable local bands we have. It's a lot of talent in the area, so they came up. We want to continue that in the summer. The Bear Valley Business Association, who's one of the most active business associations in this corridor, are taking on that task of bringing music down in the village.
Wow.
We have a small little outdoor venue right outside of Sky High, with a nice sandy beach where musicians can play and people can sit, bring your chair, get a beer at Sky High. And in addition, we'll bring them into the Cathedral Lounge. And I don't know if you've been to the Cathedral Lounge. That is another amazing
It's a beautiful
area. And we redid that. So,
oh, really?
yes.
Okay. I haven't seen it since then, so I've got to get up there
It's
again.
beautiful. Again, Lisa and Aaron came in and did that, and it's a beautiful venue. You know, in fact, I had a young man there from Tahoe a few days ago, and he goes, "Can I just take a peek?" Yeah, take a peek. He came out, he goes, "Wow, that's amazing. They don't make places like this anymore." And just, and it is. We do a lot of weddings up there because of that feeling everybody gets when they walk in, and
Now,
it's
is
awesome.
the lodge, and I know I'm skipping around a little bit, and I don't want to put you on the spot with
That's
this
okay.
question, but is the lodge going to be, or, cross our fingers, be redone,
Where does it fall in the development plan?
Yeah, where
Yeah.
does it kind of fall into this?
Yeah.
Because I've talked to some folks who've stayed there, and they said, it is what it is, and they don't necessarily go thumbs up, but they kind of go, it's one of those places.
Yeah.
So what is the plan with that?
We call that rustic. It's a unique rustic experience. However, what we did do this year, Skyline invested in the hotel. If they had their way and they could expand weeks in the fall, we would have redid the entire hotel. We just ran out of weeks. So they spent time on the first floor in the Cathedral Lounge as well as in the restaurant. But they also upgraded all the bedding in all the rooms, new pillows, new bedding. So it really is a comfortable stay. What you won't find is a new granite counter in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But
You're only there to sleep for a little while.
Well,
You're going to be outside playing the rest of the time.
and that's what we say. And hopefully maybe in October when we can find those windows of time again, we can spend some time. But in the development plan, there's a couple options for the lodge. The lodge can stay and be refurbished. The lodge could go and get built around it. I think the prevailing hope of most people and even the developers that have looked at it is, how do we keep this amazing building? Because it really has a lot of history. That granite rock fireplace
is just stunning.
It is. It really, really is. And so I'd love to see the lodge for the long haul. And the changing in the linens and the bedding has really made a big difference. So,
great.
Yeah, I think people will enjoy their stay there.
And where I was going with that line of thought was, folks from, say, down here, San Andreas, Angels Camp even, it's what, an hour
door
and
to
a
door.
half, maybe an hour?
When I used to coach, I
So an
know
hour,
exactly how long it took.
Okay, and for me, with the Bear Valley Music Festival, that's the one thing is sometimes, especially after maybe one too many glasses of wine, you might want to crash up there. So can folks do that now, and where are they going to stay? Will it be at the lodge, or are there other options up there?
Well, the lodge is certainly an option, and next week we'll be announcing packages with the music festival, so we're working together, which we're super excited about. In addition, Bear Valley Vacation Rentals is another lodging management property that takes care of individually owned condos or homes, and they will rent them out. So they manage it, keep it clean, and but that's always an option, depending on what kind of accommodations you might want. If you want a kitchen or...
Because coming to the music festival around the lodge,
Yeah.
what I call it, and forgive me, my brain in a map is always kind of virtual like this, but around there are what look like kind of condos or townhomes, and are those
That's offered-
rentable also?
Yes.
Okay.
So those are offered through the vacation rental company.
I see.
And
Okay.
they're great because you really do feel like you're right in the center of
Oh,
town.
yeah. Well, one of the cool things about the music festival is tailgating before the concerts. I mean, the people get up there, and tailgating is probably a little bit too rustic a term for it, because I've seen some incredible
gourmet.
wines and cheeses and some really good stuff spread out there.
Well, and what we're excited about as well, speaking of that, Chef Bob is working on all the outdoor meals.
Oh, fantastic.
So if you come up and bring your chairs, there's going to be some delicious, amazing wine and breads and dinners that you can picnic with.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
great.
going to be neat.
So there'll be kind of a to-go menu during the festival
Exactly.
going, huh?
Right out at the tent.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, at the tent?
At the tent.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so it'll be great.
Because it's cool. All right, that's something
And
else.
then one other thing that we're working on for those of you that don't want to drive home, with our shuttle service, we're working with the music festival on bringing a bus down here to bring people up to the show and bring them back down.
Okay, cool.
I know.
So, yeah.
Keep your fingers crossed on that
There you
one.
go. Yeah, that's right. Because that's
Yeah.
always, and it is. It's kind of a, do you want to hassle with that drive? And mind you, like you said, the drive isn't a hassle.
Yeah.
It's a relatively easy highway. There's a
Yeah.
couple of little windy spots that some people get nervous at, but trust me, I'm a notorious lead foot. So, but it is such a beautiful drive. I was talking about going up on the weekends, folks. It is so beautiful just heading up there. And then
Yes.
you step out of the car and it's cool and that breeze is blowing and the trees are whispering to you and it's
I
just
recommend
something
you come
else.
stay.
That's right. Everybody
spend
has
the
to
night.
come stay. Well, we're getting a little bit short on time, so I want to make sure we get all the contact kind of stuff for
Okay,
folks out there.
sure.
So what's the website?
BearValley.com.
Well, that's really
It's
difficult
easy.
to remember.
It's got everything up there. Click on the summer tab. It'll show
Okay.
everything for summer. We have a lot of new videos coming out. We want to show everybody what's happening up there
Sure,
as
give you a
best as we
taste.
can. Yeah.
Okay.
But that would be the best place. Call the lodge, 209-753-2327.
Okay.
And everybody there knows how to talk about Bear Valley. So.
Oh, I can imagine. Well, you have quite a few people who live up there and happen to work there too.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And I know some people that have lived up there for a long time and are still working around the area.
It's hard to leave.
It really is.
It definitely is something. I mean, as you know, I came from a completely different world, different industry, landed here, and I never thought I'd be here this long, but it gets into your skin, and to give it up, because this is what we used to work so hard for in Silicon Valley, to come spend a couple days here.
That's right.
And when you get to live in the middle of it, you don't want it to go away.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It is the thing.
It is.
So, folks, I want to thank Rosie Sundell from Bear Valley Resort for joining us today. You need to make sure and get yourselves up the hill. It is a place to see, not just to look at, but to experience. So get yourself up there to Bear Valley Village and enjoy yourself this summer. I want to thank you for joining us. Like I said, Tammy will be with you next time. I'm Mike Taylor. Thanks for joining us.